on the channel, we finish up WWE Mattel Elite Series 104 with the Chase Bron Breaker, and we rank the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Here and welcome back to the channel for another WWE Mattel Elite 104 unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got the Chase Edition Bron Breaker, and in the back half of the video we're going to rank 104 from my least favorite to my favorite, and make sure you put your list in the comments down below as usual. And of course, as usual, for all your wrestling figure needs, make sure you're hitting up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. And of course, once again, as usual, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. And the Bron Breaker Chase is finally here in my possession, so we can finally finish up this 104 and look forward to 105 very, very soon. But we got Bron Breaker looking interesting here. I don't know if this is quite as iconic as his regular edition here, and I don't know, is Bron Breaker iconic yet? I guess not, but his dad's outfit is kind of what he wore in the other one, so a lot of memories associated with that outfit, where this one, not as much, I would say. But definitely is Bron Breaker. Technically his third figure from Mattel, as we got 2 in 104, and then we got a basic a while back, so 3 figures for Bron Breaker. Of course, Glamour Shot, his name, WWE Elite, Elite 104, all the usual stuff there. On the side, he's holding the old NXT Championship. Bron Breaker on the side, and then on the back of the package we get the Glamour Shop, we get the tail of the tape, we get the blurb, we got the big cross sell down below. We unboxed every single one of these on the channel, so check out the reviews if you did miss them. Let's see, Bron Breaker from Woodstock, Georgia. Beautiful this time of year. Head on out to Woodstock. Height 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. Finisher, the good old Steiner recliner. Career highlights, NXT champion. The second generation superstar exploded onto the NXT scene like a dog-faced gremlin, winning the NXT championship in his rookie year. And kind of from there, he's kind of simmered down a little bit. They had such a hot start for him. Of course, he lost the title to Carmelo Hayes. Kind of just been around ever since then. So be interested to see what his future entails. A lot of people thought with the last draft he was going to get called up to Raw or SmackDown. Looks like he's going to spend another year in NXT. It'll be interesting to see what's going on. I have to think maybe possibly as of right now, maybe he's hurt or something, because he isn't being as featured as much before he was champion, of course, but even after he was champion for a little bit. So we'll see what happens with all that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to NXT is what I'll say. But let's get him out of the package here. Let's see what all the fuss is about. See you later. Goodbye off to the side. We're locked in at the hands on this one. But there he is in the old plastic prison, looking good, looking like a Bron Breaker could look. As a Chase figure edition in Elite 104, I mean, it makes sense to me. And of course, him being the Chase, I'm going to make him as different as I possibly can, have the title belt on him differently, different hands going on, make him feel as different as possible. And these two feel pretty different in all honesty. See you later. Goodbye. All right, see you later. And then we got a little tape. Interesting, they got the little tape there on the title belt, so got that going on. But I guess let's break down the accessories first. We got a little twist tie, or not twist tie, a little rubber band around his arm as well. We got all kinds of stuff with this Bron Breaker figure. Straighten him up, put him off to the side. Talk about you in a second. So we do get 2 Fists of Fury here. We got 2 gripping hands, 2 Fists of Fury. Choose your own adventure. I think I went 2 fists on the other version, so I might mix this one up with 1 fist and 1 gripping hand. Just make it as different as possible. We'll do that. Then we do get the NXT title belt. Always like the looks of this title belt. Looks still pretty good right to me here. I love the little hint of the red and the blue in here. Of course, gold and black going on all over. And then almost like a young $1 Million Man title belt with all kind of the diamonds in the X there in the middle. Definitely a good looking title belt, if you ask me. Now we get down to Bron Breaker here. Similar but different is what we'll call this one. And I like it when a chase figure is very different. We got a totally different singlet with this one. I am here for that because we've had some like the Malachi Black, I guess Alistair Black back in the day, where the only difference really was the knee pad. Those are pretty lame. Or Aiden Alexander, Aiden Alexander. Where am I getting that from? Aiden English. Aiden English had a different scarf going on. So there wasn't a lot of differences. This feels at least different, so I'm definitely here for that. Interesting look, very 90s design, I guess we'd call it. Almost looks like something out of Saved by the Bell, like a poster or something like that. But you got the yellow, the black, the checkered kind of pattern. You got a little bit of a seafoam green, purple, just a lot of different colors going on in this singlet, which I guess is a family tradition in a lot of ways. It's the Steiner family, of course. A lot of flashy singlets over the years, as we do know. It even goes down into the knee pads with some of that straight design in the knee pads with the purple on the backside. White boots on this, and of course you got breaker down the side of the boots in white. White wrist tape, white hand tape as well. 2 gripping hands we already talked about. Articulation, arms going to go all the way around. Got the old bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows, hands back forth, side to side, hands removable. Ab crunch, of course. Waist articulation. Big old Bron breaker splits if he needs to do them. You do get the thigh cut. Double jointed knees, boot cut, ankles back forth, side to side. Does he fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand? Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. What do you know? He fits perfectly on the stand right there. Of course, the head is going to be removable on this one, so you can move it around. Technically, I guess you could grab his old basic figure. You could pop the head off that, and you could put this and switch them back and forth. You could give kind of the elite head to the basic, the old basic, to make the elites feel a little bit different. Maybe we'll try to do that for some of the glamour shots there. So there's some differences you could do. Of course, he's got his tattoo like a young Bill Goldberg there on his bicep, looking good. But we do get the face here. You got the big old bushy goatee, kind of a mean mugging look. A very short haircut on him, but it is Bron Breakker all day. I think if somebody handed me this, said it was a wrestler, I feel I would know this is Bron Breakker. But we do got the other Bron Breakker here. Of course, a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences. Different boot color, different knee pads, different singlet. This is what a chase should be all day long. Make them as totally different as possible. Really do like the idea, and I hope that's how some of these chases continue to go, where they feel like, I mean, this feels like it could be in the Royal Rumble line or the WrestleMania line or something, and here's the one that was in Elite 104. We see that in the past with some nice repaints. That's what this one feels like here. So I'm definitely here for this one. I think you can guess which one of the two I prefer, and we'll talk more about that in the back half of this very video as we rank 104 from my least favorite to my favorite. All right, time to get down to business, ranking Elite 104 from my least favorite to my favorite. As always, remember, this is my list, so it can't be wrong, it can't be right, it's my list. And your list, put in the comments down below and put them in order. That is the tough part, but that is the fun part after all. So we got 7 figures here, including the Bron Breakker chase. Let's dive into it. It'll be interesting to see how easy this one is. It's always tough at the end. Sometimes in the back half, it's a little bit easier. And that's kind of where this one goes for me. I'm going to put Dakota Kai in spot number 7. Happy we got Dakota Kai. It's just the head sculpt, a little bit something to be desired for me. Just not my favorite head sculpt. It almost looks like an upside down Dorito. And can a Dorito be upside down? I don't know. But it does have a weird head look to it. Very triangular head. Definitely an interesting look for Dakota Kai. And Dakota Kai's had 3 figures so far with a basic and another elite. All of them missing the mark just a little bit. So I don't know. She must be a very hard person to get from the screen into action figure form. That's the only thing I can guess. I don't know. But she's coming in at number 7 for me here. Number 6 is a very good figure. Just not a lot of newness here. And it feels like Iron Maiden. It feels like we've been here before. It feels like deja vu. It is Drew McIntyre. Now we do got a different kilt going on here. And I am a sucker for a sword. I love a good sword. But we've had this kind of before. Drew McIntyre is a weird one. A tippy top guy, a big hulking, good looking guy as far as action figures go, very toyetic looking, but not a lot of differences in his gear and a lot of differences of what he's wearing. So he just kind of feels like we're going through the motions there, but there's nothing they can really do. They can't make up outfits for him really at the end of the day. So it's a little bit hard for Drew McIntyre there. So he's going to come in at number 6 for me. Number 5, I'm going to go for the good brother AJ Styles here. Once again, Feels a lot like AJ Styles we've had in the past. However, we do know we got a little bit of new torso action, a little new body, a little different changes with AJ. So that does help this one a little bit. And that kind of jumps him above Drew McIntyre for me. But it is AJ. I'm not against this one. I love AJ Styles. I'm here for AJ Styles figures. It just doesn't blow me away. But he is in the red and black attack, so he does look pretty good there. It just kind of is what it is. It's a very good modern take on AJ Styles, and if you're missing one from your collection, this is a perfect one to get for you as it's recently hitting shelves here very shortly, or Ringside Collectibles right now, of course. So 765, now we're at the number 4 spot. Number 4, I'm going to go Chase Edition Bron Breakker. I don't have any problems with this Bron Breakker figure at all, but it's just not a singlet I really like. And this one really comes down to the singlet. I mean, it's nothing against it. It's what he wore. It is what it is. It just doesn't resonate with me. So it just brings this figure down a little bit just because it just isn't very eye appealing. It's not as eye appealing as the other one, obviously. So I'm going to put this one right here at number 4. And now we're down to the final 3. And I think a lot of us know where this one maybe is going, but I'm going to put Solo at number 3. A lot of hate for this Solo figure. To me, not as much maybe, because to me this looks like the NXT version of Solo. He was skinnier. Over the last year, 2 years, let's call it, he has definitely packed on some pounds. He was injured in NXT for a little bit, and then of course went to the main roster. He is definitely growing. He's still a young guy, and he's getting bigger. I mean, think of his dad, Rikishi. If you followed Rikishi's career, he was much like Solo, a little bit smaller back in the WCW days as part of the Samoan SWAT team. Then over the years got bigger and bigger until he was finally Rikishi. So maybe Solo's on that same road. I'm not exactly sure. But some people don't like this one, but to me, it feels like NXT Solo. But the one thing that throws out the NXT Solo is, of course, We the One shirt going on. He wouldn't have had that in NXT. One of those things. Maybe it's a mashup. I don't know. But it does feel like a skinnier, little bit younger. Just like 3 or 4 years ago Solo figures what this one feels like. A lot of people complaining about the white towel, but I think in NXT he did have white towels occasionally. Seems to be on the main roster, it's been all black towels. But definitely an interesting one, and for a lot of people this is a pass because we already know there's another Solo figure around the bend. But some people, maybe it's a stand-in figure as well. Just kind of is what it is. But I do think this is a good figure. It just needed a little bit bigger torso, but maybe I'm trying to convince myself in my own brain. Whatever it may be, at the end of the day, he's going to be number 3 for me. Which leaves the Steiner family, all the Steiner family. And this is very difficult to do, and this is very close for me to do. But it's going to be 1 or 2, but I'm just going to have to do it. I'm just going to have to do it this way. I'm going to put Rick at number 1 and Bron at number 2. Both fabulous figures. 2 of my favorite figures so far in 2023. I love both of these. I love the iconic Rick Steiner singlet on Bron Breakker. I love the black and the pink, the fist. I like the head sculpt on Bron Breakker. Love the NXT title belt. There is a lot to like about this Bron Breakker figure, but Rick Steiner goes back to my childhood. Steiner Brothers, one of my first favorite tag teams with the LOD Road Warriors, just an all-timer. Is this the most iconic version of Rick Steiner? By no means. I love his Steiner Brothers reign better, but this is great for that WCW shelf. Solo run, Rick Steiner. Put him with Tank Abbott as we did in, of course, the unboxing. Just a very cool looking Rick Steiner, and it's a perfect first edition Rick Steiner for the Mattel line. You put a little deeper cut there because you know everybody's going to buy it. They want Rick Steiner, and you got to kind of lead them in there. We'll eventually get you those classic Steiner Brothers Steiners, but we're going to start with something like this to make sure we get your money, because if they give you the first Steiner, the one everybody wants, they're going to pass on this one later. I already got the Steiner I need, don't need it. Well, people are going to grab this and maybe wait for the other ones. And who knows, as we do know, a bit controversial old Rick Steiner. Will we get more Rick Steiner figures? We saw San Diego Comic-Con when they displayed this entire lineup. Rick was missing from the display. That does not feel good. I don't think they just forgot Rick Steiner. I think there's more to that story, and unfortunately we may not have Rick Steiner figures going forward. Man, oh man, we'll see what ends up happening with that one there. But for what it is, and if this is our only representation, it still looks pretty good. I'm happy to have this in my collection. Happy to have the Steiner Brothers finally start showing up in my Mattel Elite collection. So there it is, Elite 104 from my least favorite all the way to my favorite. But what say you guys and gals out there in YouTube land? How do you rank this set? Which one's number 1? Which one's last? Who's in the middle? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Always helps the channel. Give it the old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this very YouTube channel. Hit the old notification bell, as we got everything and anything on this very YouTube channel. And for early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, pizza reviews, dog stuff, you name it, it's all going on down over the old Patreon channel. And Patreon, your best way to support this very YouTube channel. And you can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on X, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram and Threads. So for Elite 104, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.